As members of these concentrations, we know probably better than any other undergraduates getting their degrees today, we did not receive this education out of any inherent superiority, but that the vastness of the world's inequalities has given us this blessing of education at Brown. We are, in essence, students of inequality, studying the many ways in which the world's injustices are perpetuated, in large part by human systems that we have built. The biggest questions of our concentrations are, how do we approach inequality, represent inequality, and share our knowledge of inequality with others? How do we do all of this in the spirit of equality and unity? During our tenure at Brown, we've learned that these inequalities don't exist in isolation, and that they aren't connected to individual shortcomings, but that they're a part of larger systems of structural injustices, systems of racism, classism, sexism, and xenophobia that constrains the individual agency of normal people. As well-traveled, worldly young students, how can we share our experiences in other cultures in ways that don't replicate those existing power structures, but that further an inclusive, loving, and compassionate view of others? Are there possibilities for representation that don't make our voices stronger than theirs, our perspectives more valued? As a brilliant professor of mine once said, from the day that we are born, we turn our faces to recognize the other as separate from us. By othering people, we create structures that divide us. This is the question for our graduating class, how to dismantle these structures. And once we've recognized the fact that we're not superior, how can we let that influence our decisions and actions and shape the kind of work that we want to do in the world? So I'd like to take a moment during this very joyous and wonderful day to think about others who have been excluded from an opportunity like this one. Maybe because they were born in a different country, maybe because their skin was a different color, maybe because their country was at war, infrastructure wasn't available, or they had to choose due to limited resources between education and healthcare, between getting a job to feed their loved ones and going to school. Imagine what our concentrations would look like if these people were included. How vibrant, varied, and brilliant. What I'm calling for is a kind of radical empathy, an idea of holding other people's experiences in as high regard as our own intellectual experience. Study at Brown is just one piece in a collage of experiences, yet we exist in a world that makes it seem like study at Brown is the most valuable. Only if we live meditative, respectful, humble lives in which we recognize our inherent ordinariness, and in so doing, our common humanity, can we expect to see a different kind of world. Let's acknowledge power structures that have allowed us to rise, to get this degree, to participate in these beautiful rituals. Let's interrogate what we have been taught about the other, and think critically about how to undo some of those lessons. It was a blessing to have received this education. We did not have the blessing of being students at Brown because we deserved it more. So I hope we will be constantly thinking and interrogating as we continue on our various and diverse journeys about how we can invest our time, energy, and love into radical solutions for change so that others might someday feel this blessing